this is a 1963 Bonham Spartan 660. It was built by the Bonham Company in Provo, Utah. They are famous for tote goats. They built mini bikes for hunters and things like that. The owner of the company decided one winter business was bad, so they built snowmobiles. So this is one of 10 that we know still exist in the country. We have one that's original, and the rest have either been restored or need to be restored. So it runs on a 7-horse Tecumseh motor. As you can see, there's wheels. You can unbolt the skis and slide the wheels on so that this can go year round. The light on a clear night, you could probably see past the edge of the skis. On a dark night with that, it's a battery powered light. Interesting, it's a chain drive for the steering. So just very basic rudimentary parts on this. Again, they only built it 1 year, and it really wasn't a very popular sled at the time. This has 2 forward speeds and reverse, so it does have a transmission in it. A 7-horse Tecumseh motor is what powers it. Top speed is probably about 12 miles an hour. And it goes and goes and goes. That's about all I got to say about that.
Forrest Gump. We see some of the literature on it?
Sure. Well, this is the only literature they ever produced on it. And this is one that I printed up from what we found on the internet. It did come with an optional cab for winter for snow. I've never seen one. I don't know how many of them they actually built. The sled weighs about 400 pounds. And again, this was built as an all-season, so it was built for hunters and trappers, farmers, line crews, work crews, that type of thing, explorers, or just family fun. So as I said, it's a vehicle of 1,000 uses. So just an interesting old sled, and like I said, we know of 10 of them that still exist in the country right now.
So basically this is kind of like a, what are they called, a trail maker? Kinda?
Well, kind of. It's basically a 1960s utility vehicle. So it's like today they have the UTVs. This was the UTV of the 1960s.
And you were mentioning earlier that you think that possibly the attachments on the front are for the cab.
Yeah, this is, of all the ones that we know exist, this is the only one that has this feature, and we have no idea what it's for. There's 2 theories. One, they mounted spotlights or headlights on there, or when you had the cab on it that bolted or slid into this post here, there may have been like a ratchet strap or a bungee to hold that piece in place. But to this day, this is the only sled of the 10 that has this attachment, and it looks like it was a factory installed attachment. So we're not exactly sure what it is. Someday I hope to find out. But.
And you were mentioning that someone had the idea of putting the wheels on there, but you mentioned that.
Well, it does. Everything we've seen, all the literature shows it driving with a track on it and the tires up front. But I was at a show and a guy said, well, you could undo the belt. So the belt fits together with a pin that basically holds it together. Theoretically, you can pull that pin, drop the belt, and you could just drive it on the 5 tires or the 6 tires that it has on it. There's 2 drive tires that come off the transmission, and then the 2 are just guide tires to keep it straight. Now, the other feature of this, you could extend it. So it's in the shortened position right now, but you can pull these pins and actually slide the back end. So this part would be bolted into here. This would be out in the center. It makes it, when you're on a lot of moguls, that the track or the sled will articulate and give you a smoother ride than in the shortened position right now. So they had some good ideas back in the 60s. unfortunately, it never took off. So
Now, is that the throttle cable right there?
yes, the original throttle cable it's just a knife, like a knife switch.
Kind of like a Polaris Snow Traveler.
Yes, exactly. Only theirs is like a handle. This is just a flat piece of steel,
Okay.
like a knife switch. But I put this throttle cable on it. It's a little bit easier to operate that way. But the original one was just a simple, just plain piece of metal as a knife switch.
Well, thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome.